Well, in case of the Philippines, the trade growth has been actually good, which has flowed also into our good economic growth in general. Our trade growth has been hovering between 5 to 8% every year for the last 4 to 5 years. And we expect to continue experiencing such healthy trade growth over the next 3 to 5 years. Now, in terms of the APEC economies, I guess you have a wide variety of, because you have such a broad membership in APEC. So the growth has been uneven, with some growing faster than the others. But the agenda for APEC in terms of promoting better trade opportunities and liberalizing further the trade agenda will eventually result in really a better trade growth for all. Yes, for this particular MRT here in Boracay, what we've tried to do is really to concentrate more on trade facilitation issues as well as cross-border issues. And in line with that, we have three main categories that we're trying to tackle. One is basically the support for the multilateral trading system. Then the second is the regional economic integration, enhancing it. How do we enhance the regional economic integration? And then third is really the foster the better support for SMEs, with special emphasis on the micro and small enterprises. Actually, we have two that are live this moment that affects the APEC economies. One, of course, is the Trans-Pacific Partnership, TPP, and the second one is RCEP, which is the one of ASEAN with its dialogue partners. And those are live, being negotiated. There's possibly a third upcoming one, the FTAAP. And so APEC is working now on trying to complete the terms of reference for the initial study for that effort. We need to define further the SMEs and maybe divide it into micro and small and medium, because the interventions are quite different, whether it's a medium enterprise or it's a small and micro enterprise. And that's one of the main points that we're trying to make. And we're saying that for the most part, the interventions, not only of the APEC economies, but also in the other trade fora, including ASEAN, WTO, etc., a lot of their interventions for SMEs have really benefited more the medium rather than the micro and small. So the micro and small have been basically left out, not by design, but by default, just because nobody has really thought about the interest. So what we're trying to do is to bring the interests of micro and small enterprises front and center, rather than as an aside, rather than as a by the way, rather than as an afterthought. So we're saying ab initio, when we craft policies, programs, develop procedures, let's immediately ask the question, how will this impact micro and small enterprises? The labor skills and gaps are dependent, of course, based on the level of the economy, right? For developed economies, obviously, you'll have a higher level of education and higher level of achievement and experience and globalization. For developing economies, they will have a lower level. Now, but even for developed economies, it's possible that there may be a mismatch. I think there are several economies within APEC that have identified that they have these large mismatches in terms of their population skills and education relative to the requirements that they think they will need for the next several decades. So what we need to do is really try to match that and try to address that by allowing freer flow of people within among the economies. And it makes really a lot of sense. In the Philippines case, we have a lot of skills, so we export a lot of people actually. But we also need a lot of skills that are not present currently in our markets. And it would really help our economy, in the progression of our economy, to be able to attract some of the skills from other economies and bring them to the Philippines. So that's where the human resource development and efforts such as the MRAs come into play, wherein you recognize each other's competence levels and allow these people to come back and forth between and among the member economies. We hope that we can have a strong expression of support for the multilateral trading system, trade, and for support for WTO in terms of completing the trade facilitation agreement and also for completing the Doha round. Second, I guess we'd like to at least come up with an agreement on the terms of reference. I don't think that will be completed in the MRT, but sometime during the APEC year, to come up with the terms of agreement and have that approved, so that the terms of reference, so that the study can start in 2016. And then we hope for a very strong statement from the ministers from MRT for the strong support for further development of MSMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises, with a particular emphasis on the trade facilitation for micro and small.